Visual media are a huge part of our lives, and here I want to share with you several that have shaped my youth, most of which are concerned children's advertisers' public service announcements. Please note that I'm only discussing the ones I've seen. Number 1, Don't Put It in Your Mouth, from 1993. Many people find the puppet motif creepy, but as someone who was pretty influenced by television as a child, I sincerely thank these Smurf-like siblings for teaching me to ask or read about what's edible. Their little song and dance helped make this ad memorable. Although, I love all vegetables and promoting nutrition, so I'm not with a sister on ignoring beets, regardless of the taste. Number 2, The Mousetrap, from 1993. Similar to the first one, this is a lighthearted though laid-back ad concerning why it's important to inquire about an unknown object before touching it. Unlike the former, however, the voice acting here is much more tolerable. And the Mouse Brothers' relationship feels more amicable. I appreciate that the idea is to be wary, but not necessarily afraid of coming into contact with something potentially harmful, as this is true of everyday life. Anything can pose a risk, but if we choose to avoid everything, we wouldn't be able to live, right? Number 3, Jake the House Hippo, from 1999. A fan favorite, this clever little ad prompts us to question what we see on television. Although many of us would have wanted to discover an endearing house hippo of our own, it nonetheless offers just enough dramatic storytelling in a minute to drive its point home. Number 4, Body Break, from 1990s. As a fitness and synth music fanatic, I always find myself internally jamming to the theme song. Oh yeah! These commercials are also quite inclusive of sports, people, and how they choose to exercise, so they're sure to motivate anyone. Double yeah! Number 5, African Lion Safari, from the 1980s. Fun fact, I actually went to the safari as a little kid before even learning of these ads. Still, it's always a pleasure seeing Earth's amazing creatures on television. Unlike the other commercials on this list, these ones still seem to be ongoing. Number 6, Health Rock, from 2004. This is probably my favorite of the bunch. Aside from a catchy song, you get a really creative animation that shows how the body works and why it's so important to take care of it. Easy to remember and fun to jam to. Number 7, Smart As You, from 1997. The sentient TV, who's smarter than he thinks, is actually one of the few on this list that teaches more than one good message for kids. Number 1, they understand what they're watching. Number 2, they choose what they want to subscribe to. And number 3, they choose how they want to spend their free time. He's a little depressing at times, but the TV nonetheless does try to sprinkle some humor here and there. Number 8, Storytime, from 1991. If it weren't for the narrator's pleasant and personable demeanor, this one probably wouldn't have made the same impact on me as the first two did. Only because I'm not the biggest fan of raccoons. Still, it's imperative that people are considerate and communicative with their loved ones, especially when it comes to substance abuse. Number 9, How Was Your Day? From 1995. It's not often that we see child-oriented PSAs actually aimed toward adults, and this heartfelt exchange between mother and son about her student's unstable parent is incredibly powerful. While it's implied that the parent has personal issues, the mother nonetheless makes the crucial point that it is their responsibility to not take it out on a completely innocent child. She sets an example by calling child services, and her son takes comfort in this. Regardless of whether or not someone is related to you, all human beings deserve support, and this is very well illustrated in the ad. Number 10, We Are Girls, from 1997. Even if you're not a girl, this is another meaningful PSA about thinking for yourself, standing up for what you believe in, and to always do the things that mean the most to you. Number 11, What's Your Thing? From 1999. It took me a while to realize playing sports just isn't my thing. But it's not the end of the world, and that's the point of this PSA. Everyone's interests should be celebrated, and there's no shame in exploring the ones that suit you best. Number 12, Ice Cream, from 2001. I personally don't relate to the children running after the ice cream truck, as I knew better not to try it myself at that age, but I get the message. being in shape can help you reach your goals, provided that they're realistic. Number 13, The Chase, also from 2001. Again, I've never been literally chased, nor the chaser for someone's affections, so this PSA doesn't speak to me. Not only that, but considering how harassment is a prevalent discussion these days, witnessing young girls trying to kiss a boy they like definitely wouldn't fly now. Not that it ever should have flown in the first place. The idea shouldn't be to get fit and run away from them, but rather talk to those individuals directly about why their actions bother you. And if that doesn't work, yes, just seek help right away. I will say I have Fila Fila saved on my playlist though. It's a cute song. Number 14, Blown Away, from 2001. I was a car collector myself, so I completely understand the need to be responsible for what you buy. If, by some stroke of bad luck, you need to chase after a car being blown away by the wind, regular exercise could be useful in this case. Number 15, Walk Away, from 2002. I remember in grade 6 I finally stopped being friends with a bully because of their mistreatment of our other peers, and their bullying days were over. Even though I never took part in the bullying, I had to show I wasn't about to enable it any longer, just for the sake of our long-time friendship. The reality is, bullies won't stop until enough people realize they shouldn't give them a reason to continue hurting someone. It's more about collective action and policing oneself when dealing with bullies than anything else, and the boys' isolation in the PSA makes the point very clear. Number 16, Words Hurt, from 2003. Honestly, petty insults are still something I witness to this day. The worst is when others enable it and don't say anything. There's no reason for it. It's a waste of time. Those mean girls skipping class in the PSA sure didn't seem like they were going anywhere in life. Now you're left with is a self-loathing person who doesn't need to be. We need a remake of this one with people in the workplace. And finally, number 17, Tell Someone, from 2005. I was never the best at confronting people who bothered me, or telling those close to me about them, until it was either too late and I lost friends, or I didn't receive the closure I deserved. This PSA is more about bullying, but really, it could speak to anyone who thinks speaking up is going to have a dire consequence. If people can't accept what they're doing wrong, they're not meant to be in your lives in the first place. Thanks for listening, and be sure to comment below with your favorite nostalgic Canadian ad.